Hey guys, I had just uploaded the SWAT video when something else dawned on me. Remember when Zack, remember when he was going to, or at least was approached to do a Wolverine movie? But that got passed on because they also didn't want to make an R-rated movie with him. Which, in hindsight, very, very bad decision. Like, Logan, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Financially and critically, just across the board, just a home run. A home run. Like, nominated for Academy Awards. But anyway, so you know how I said in the last video how Zack was pretty much, he's at the point now to where he's like changing the names, changing the titles, changing the name of the characters, and just deciding to go forward with the ideas that he had, like as like, you know, detached from the IP in which they were created, as like original ideas, or kind of like how Adi Shankar had like his bootleg universe where he took like pre-existing IP and he like put his own spin on it, and like he'd like change and cut some things. But what Zack is doing is taking that idea to the next level, because he isn't just making, because what Adi Shankar was doing, even though he was making them his own thing, they were still the thing. Like, he had like that Venom idea that he created, that James Bond short where James Bond is like old and retired or whatever. It was still 007, and then he had that R-rated fucking Power Rangers thing that he did. I mean, it was still Power Rangers. But what Zack is doing, he's completely detaching these ideas from the IP, effectively making them his own. Kind of like that movie Brightburn is essentially a Superman movie without being Superman. See, you can take the archetype. You can own a name, you can own source material, but the one massive loophole about IP is that even though you own the name and the source material, what you don't own and can't own is the archetype in which that thing was created from. So, technically, Zack can make any movie he wants. Literally any movie he wants. So long as he detaches it from the IP. See, people forget that Watchmen is basically a Justice League story in which Alan Moore, because DC wasn't going to let him do what he did with their characters, Alan Moore basically just took the archetype of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and he made the Justice League story that he wanted to tell with original characters. And now look at it. Watchmen is the crown jewel of DC. For many people, that is top tier DC, like it doesn't get any better. And that was all original characters. So, what if Zack took the archetype of Wolverine and he like came up with a story about this immortal who lived for centuries, and he was like a meta-human, and he went through all these historical events, he fought in all these wars or whatever, and then at some point he got caught up with the government and they like experimented on him and they turned him into like this super weapon where he like was in a team with other metahumans and like literally like he can make his Wolverine movie without Wolverine. Cuz Logan is like this modern take on like a western character like Clint Eastwood. Like he's this tragic loner hero character. You can literally like he can just straight up make this Wolverine movie. He can take the Frank Miller story where Wolverine went off to Japan and did that whole thing. Now, obviously, there was the why am I drawing a blank? There was the James Mangold Wolverine movie, but Zack can literally reimagine that whole story. Take his original character and tell that story. Marvel doesn't own ninjas. Marvel doesn't own like the archetype of like those like samurai and like all that. He could like literally create his own world that resembles that story, but it's his own new thing. And he can twist it, flip it, bend it, do it, whatever. Zack can make a fucking Wolverine movie if he wanted to. And I don't see Netflix telling him no. So that's something else to think about.